Alright lads, so today finish up the showcases for unfortunately the only 2 new characters in Brave Souls. Look at Bazby, man. He deserved a new character, didn't he? Hopefully we get a new Bazby sometime soon, because otherwise we're not going to see a new Bazby until like 2026, and I kind of want to see a new Bazby this year, I'm not going to lie. Either way though, today we're here to look at and focus on the newest character, that being 1000-Year Blood War Toshiro, his 3rd version, and surprisingly also his first Flurry character. Now obviously with that, there was a lot of disappointment, myself included, that we did get a 2-character end of month banner, one of them being designed for Guild Quests. Ultimately, that's what this character is, he's a Guild Quest character. You're only really going to use him in the Melee Captain Guild Quest, where luckily we can showcase him in today's video, and while it's true you can use him outside of Guild Quest, he is at the end of the day a Melee Nat character, so his usage is definitely limited. But for Toshiro fans out there, you can have a lot of fun with this character. Like, he is, as a Melee Nat character, he's probably the best out there. Not the best Nat character, that's reserved for ranged Nat characters. And unfortunately, this character is a big example of why Nat characters are kind of stagnated in this game. They deserve better. There's a lot you could do if Nat characters and Caleb aren't doing that. I said it in my most recent video, for end of month Nat characters, which are rarities as is, this is a time to experiment. Make them a tad bit different than just being a Guild Quest side character that you don't even use. Having said that, again, as a Nat character, he's good, but that's ultimately his biggest problem. He's a Nat character, which is kind of unfortunate because he actually has some really good visuals, and I do like this version of Toshiro too. While I do think the Hollow Bankai would have been cooler, and we could potentially get that in the future, we could potentially get a Zombie Toshiro later this year. So Toshiro fans definitely have a lot to still look forward to, but this is definitely a disappointment and kind of holds the banner back from being like a 10 out of 10 in my opinion, even with 2 characters. This character was like a broken SP power character. I easily would have done 25 steps. Unfortunately, ultimately, because he's a Nat character, I only did 2. Either way, enough nitpicking, right? I've already complained enough that he's a Nat character, but I just wanted to throw that out there. One thing I will say though, and I did mention in my initial reaction to this character, is that what I do like about the character is that he is a Nat character. This version of Toshiro is the Toshiro that lost his Bankai. He had to relearn Zanjutsu from the ground up. So making this Toshiro like the first Nat character kind of makes sense. Like, I don't dislike it. And as a Nat character, let's look how actually good he is. So he is a Captain Killer. His sword rate is increased normal attack damage plus 40%, only when you're at full stamina. This is really good, goes from self. Any other Nat character can definitely benefit from that sword rate. He's got a high bruiser value at 50%. Right now it's 130 since we do have links on him. He has Flurry plus 1, but he does get Flurry plus 2 in Guild Quest, which does mean he hits very, very hard in Guild Quest. But at the same time, why have they limited it to only in Guild Quest? I mean, we have Sangdu in the same banner with Frenzy Free, 120% SP boost and a gauge, but they're scared to give Toshiro Flurry plus 2 in normal PvE content. Absolutely ridiculous how hard Caleb are holding back Nat characters, right? Which again is my problem with this character. Because if I'm being honest, like if he had Flurry 2, makes no difference. Like, the character plays the exact same. If anything, he clears epic raids like a few seconds faster. There's no need to make Flurry plus 2 only in Guild Quests. One nice thing about him though, since he is a melee Nat character, he does come with long reach. Surprisingly, that is a rarity for melee Nat characters. So his range is enhanced, which is always good. And then he gets more melee damage and kill effect in Guild Quests. His SA2 is a boost. And with that, he does have Enhancer and the Booster skill, so it's going to last 20 seconds, and he is boosting your team stats by 43%, more specifically though, attack, focus, and also defense. With Poise, and for the first time, a 15-hit start barrier, he's almost ensuring himself to stay at full stamina, and even if the barrier does wear off, he also has a 50% chance to dodge sword damage. So, again, as a melee Nat character, he's easily one of the best in the entire game, probably the best. He has really high damage output, especially in Guild Quests, and he is going to be really good in the Melee Captain Killer Guild Quest. It does have its problems since this is the best team in this week, and you're actually better off just running this team, because you can get ridiculously fast play time thanks to Yasuo being so broken. But you know what? This character might get more usability, might be a lot better if we do get the Nightmare Captain Killer Guild Quest, where the boss's HP are really high, where maybe the Yasuo strat doesn't usually work. And you might want that added support from a melee Nat character like Toshiro. So he definitely does have his place. He's the best at what he wants to do, but it definitely is a small niche. Either way though, for today's showcase, we do have a level 10 attack, standard build for a Nat character, Golden Chappy Hollow Bait, with of course 3 normal attack damage soul traits. For bonus abilities, we're using attack and also full stamina. With that said, let's jump into some content. Alright then, so let's have a look at Toshiro. So again, we're just going to use our Nat string here. Does have some really good visuals for a Nat character, I must say. You can see here, at least when it comes to single player IT, we aren't one-shotting. The Flurry plus 2 would have been a lot better, because then we would have been, you know, one-shotting, right? Range is definitely nice to see here. because I am noticing that I'm hitting enemies which usually do miss. Nat-ring is relatively fast too. Overall, for a Nat character, again, as a mini Nat character, he's got a lot good going for him, right? Though long reach really does help here. Nice AoE behind him too. I think the third and fourth hit does have an AoE around him, which does allow him to get some back range in case we do go past, which we did see just there. SA1 is going to be a small AoE in front of him. Actually, real quick, just quickly talking about the visuals, because I do think this character is visually impressive. Was way more of a fan of this character after rewatching the episode with his fight with Bazby and also Sangdu. His SA1 is the vacuum ice attack that he does do to Bazby. His SA2 is the ice mist attack, which looks absolutely beautiful, and I love that they turned that into a vortex. It really does make sense. And then his SA3 is the ice wall that he does do. Overall, man, this is what I love about, you know, these 1000-year Blood War anime characters. Not to say the other 1000-year Blood War characters have generic attacks. They also have attacks that they do in the manga, but it's nice to see attacks that you see in the anime replicated in-game, and they make sense. Like, I really do like it. I will say, though, the SA3 does look a tad bit weird, I will be honest. And then even the Soul Bomb, loving that they have the red backgrounds. This attack being the Soul Bomb honestly does make sense if we aren't getting the Hollow Bankai Toshiro. If it was Hollow Bankai, it would have been this particular attack. Honestly, though, for a character, I will back it. I like that this variation of Toshiro is a Nat character. I like his Nat string, good range to it. Has the self-surrounding vortex, which again looks absolutely beautiful. All three strong attacks look really good. There's almost nothing to complain about this character, besides the fact he's a Nat character. Moving on, though, let's have a look at Toshiro in the Menos Grande Epic Raids. Currently, we are a bonus, so keep that in mind. And, you know, Epic Raids is usually a good place to use characters like this. And since we have access to the IBAN link, you can actually get a use out of this character in Epic Raids whenever you want to, really. Again, if you are a Toshiro fan and you love this particular version or variation of Toshiro, you can take him into Epic Raids and they can be a link store farmer if you do want to use the IBAN link. I'm not going to do that for this particular run, but you definitely can do that and get into link store lobbies, host your own. And honestly, him and your team wouldn't be that bad since he does have a good damage output. He is a Nat character, most importantly with the SA2. So, you know, you're doing constant damage, but you're also allowing your teammates to do more damage because you're buffing their attack and focus by 43%. Let's see how it goes, though. I have no idea what clear time to expect. Sangdu was able to clear in around 30 seconds. Let's look at our damage output, though. With Nat characters like this, even in Epic Raids where they actually are good, we are going to do a bit of dodging, but that's fine. We're still doing constant damage. It looks like we're doing 150k? 150k per hit. Is that what I'm seeing? That's not bad. The start barrier does wear off after 20 seconds. Keep that in mind. But essentially, what you're going to hold down on Nat string. Try not to get hit, because remember, this character, if he takes any damage, we're losing a lot of DPS. Like, a lot of DPS. Let's use our Soul Bomb. Probably could put weakened defense on this character to clear a tad bit faster. The SA2 is back. Let's activate the boost. Looks like we're doing 190k on the final hit, which is actually really good. And then in this case, slowly but surely, we are chipping away the boss HP. 55-second clear time. Honestly, not too bad. Not going to redo that because Nat characters' damage output are fairly consistent. If we were to do that run again, we would probably get like the exact same clear time. That's a cool end pose. I like it. 54 seconds. Honestly, it's alright. Next up, though, let's take Toshiro into Guild Quest. In this case, the very hard Guild Quest. Again, would have loved to try him out in the Nightmare. That's where he's definitely going to best perform. Now, as always, when it comes to the melee captain Guild Quest, we are opting to use Yatsuru Unohana. She is the best lead for this week. With that, we are then going to be using Akon. Really good team booster. Going to give us 40% more damage to weakened enemies and also 20% more strong attack damage. Then we have Toshiro. Only 1-5, but again, he is going to do that constant damage output. Provide some good crowd control with his SA2, which can't inflict any stat azimuths, which I think is good. Because in Yatsuru's case, we want to inflict stat azimuth. It's going to keep the enemies in place. He's going to do his normal attack damage, a lot of that too. And also buff Yatsuru as well, since we're getting 43% more attack and also focus. So let's see what the run's going to look like. This should be actually really, really smooth. So let's go here, use our SA3 into the 1. Unfortunately, did miss an enemy, but that's one thing, just to pause it there. Again, the usual strategy for Yatsuru Unohana teams is to use her, Akon, and also Shinji. But the problem with that, it's not really that much of a problem, but if you miss a strong attack, the run's dead, you have to reset. With Toshiro as backup, you know, if we make that mistake, if we do miss an enemy, Toshiro's sure to get us and actually hit the enemy that we have missed, which we have to wait usually. Let's use our SA2. Going straight into the third boss, we're then going to use our Soul Bomb into the SA1. Looking good thus far. We then have to wait SA2 into the 1. Didn't actually kill there, but again, Toshiro's here to back it up. SA3 into the 1. Toshiro doing his damage too. Nice, easy combo with Unohana and also Toshiro. I think this team will perform definitely better if Yatsuru wasn't 5-5. And to be fair, Yatsuru did do all the work there. She did definitely do all the work. But, you know, Toshiro wasn't too bad. Toshiro was there picking up the scraps. doing some good damage alongside us, and that's why we were able to get a 48-second clear time. If I did take out Toshiro and put on Shinji for the extra sad damage and debuff, which again would have allowed Yachu to hit a bit harder, that particular run, since I did make mistakes, would have cleared slower, probably like 35 seconds remaining. So in a way, having Toshiro in your team is still good. Like, we're still potentially able to get a 50-second remaining, which is really, really impressive. But it also allows you to make mistakes too. If you're just trying to go in and get a quick score, not try and get the most optimal score, Toshiro's going to be really good here. Let's actually try it again. Hopefully this time, making no mistakes. So SA3 into the 1. Hopefully Sergeant does get weakened. Yes, he does. So that means the SA2 does the job there. We're then once more going to Soulbomb into the 1. Having to wait a few seconds for that SA2 to come back. There we go, into the 1. Looking good right now. And then we finish up with the 3. Into the 1. 50-second cooldown. Toshiro doing his work too. Lot of NAD damage from him. And that's a more impressive run. Basically beating the guild quest in less than 10 seconds. Next up though, for our final run, let's see if we can solo the very hard difficulty of guild quest only using a 1 out of 5 Toshiro. Now we do have an Akon on our team, but he's just there to die. I don't want to, reset his accessories more so. He's just there to die. There he goes. Damage output looking good. Looks like we're doing 200k per hit on our NAD string, which with Floyd plus 2, I mean, we're looking at like, what, 900k damage almost? That's really good. Now, unfortunately, we have lost our DPS here. Or damage, so we've lost a lot of damage, actually. I think ideally you might want to rock recharge links. The dodge is really coming in clutch here. I think the run's over, though, since we did lose all our full stamina damage. Freeze is really good, though. No debilitate on Toshiro. That's something I actually did not realize. And I did the same thing with Sangdu. Let's pause it there. We're going to restart that run, try again, see if we can clear it. Right now, it's looking like we can't, even with his really high damage output, and ultimately, it might be because he's a mini-NAD character, because you have to get up close and personal. We're going to spend more time dodging, as opposed to ranged characters, which can, just sit back and hit from afar. All right, then, so attempt number 2, what we're going to do here is, again, use our SA2 to grab everyone together in our Ice Mist. Fortunately, for this time around, the first boss being speed definitely does help us out here, and we are doing a lot of damage. But I think the second that barrier wears off, the run's almost dead, because it's really hard to stay at full stamina here. And even if we inflict freeze, because like Sergeant is spamming that SA1, man, it's hard. It's hard. I don't think it's possible. I think I'm gonna give up. This is why you don't main NAD characters in GQ, right? It's just not worth it. Either way, though, lads, that might be a short showcase. One of our shortest ones to date, maybe. I'm not too sure. But overall, I will say, I'm a fan of the character. Again, I like the idea that this variation of Toshiro is the no attack damage. It makes sense. I love this character's visuals. While I would have preferred Hollow Bankai, I still like what we got. As already stated multiple times, my biggest gripe with him is that he's a NAD character and he's only designed for guild quests. If Caleb were a bit more experimental, making him similar to 1000 YBW Aizen, give him more than 20% long reach. Maybe give him Throw plus 2 outside of GQ. Maybe give him Drain on all of his attacks. I'm not sure what they could have done to make this character better outside of guild quests. At the same time, one of his biggest problems, which would have made him stand out a bit more, is the fact that he is a captain killer. While again, he is the best booster for his guild quest week, it is a guild quest week that is easy as is. Most people don't need this character. And had he been a different killer, let's say Quincy killer, for example, which would have made more sense. He does go against Quincy's, right? Now, killers don't always have to make sense, but had he been a Quincy killer, this character would have been significantly more exciting and also needed for a lot of people, because that Quincy killer week is actually more difficult and does lack those, NAD support characters that Toshiro would have nicely fit in. So ultimately, the biggest downfall for this character is that 1, he is a NAD character, but also 2, he's a guild quest character in a week that almost didn't need him. Now, as I already mentioned, when the Nightmare GQ comes around, yeah, I'm sure he's going to be good. Visually, I love this character. Makes me sad more that he is a NAD character. But you know what? This isn't going to be the only 1000 YBW Toshiro in the game. We're going to get more. Maybe Zombie Toshiro will come alongside Giselle and also Mayuri. That would be a really cool free character banner. And I would hope that Zombie Toshiro makes up for this character being a just normal NAD character. And then, of course, that's all just the waiting done until we finally get adult Toshiro in the game. Whenever that gets around to happening. I'm not too sure. Either way, cool character. Unfortunately, a NAD character. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Take care and peace.